This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to show you through your 2019 Passport, excuse me, 2400 BH. Okay. I'm here on the door side at the rear. So we have crank down stabilizers. They take a 3/4 inch socket or a crank. Alright. Under here, while I'm standing here, is the quick connect for your LP. You can hook a grill up to this, or in your outside kitchen you have a cooktop. You can hook that up to here also. It just basically, if you can see that, you just push this back, the male end goes in there, you let it go, and then you turn the gas on right there. That's all there is to it. This draws from the LP tanks up front. Okay, you got a power awning with an LED strip, outside speakers. You got this outside kitchen here. Let's open it up and take a look. Okay, so you have a small refrigerator that works at 110 AC. You plug in your trailer, it turns on. You have a cooktop with 2 burners right here. You're just going to turn it on and light it with a lighter. You've got a sprayer here. You can see the hose, and then this piece here that can plug into here and act. Oh, sorry, let me get a better shot of it. It can act like a faucet over this basin here. Now I told you have to plug this range in. This is the male end of the hose, so you would bring it down underneath and plug it into the quick connect that I showed you. Alright, so this is just power out. It's just a regular receptacle. That is your furnace vent. Walking towards the front, we have a hitch for you. Now the hitch, we'll show you how to hitch it up when you get here. There it is there. It's a Husky Centerline. Now you can go to Husky Centerline, and they have set up videos for this too. So if you need to refresh your memory after we show you, or before we show you for that matter, you can check it out. Husky Centerline. And you may know all this already. You may have owned trailers. I don't know that, so I'm just assuming that you didn't, so I don't miss anything, or you don't. Let's see. Deep cycle marine battery. 2 20-pound LP tanks under here. Okay. It's a hand crank tongue jack. That's part of your hitch there. Alright. This is your fill and water station. So 9 times out of 10 you're just going to hook your hose up to here and turn it on and use city water. That's the most common way to get water into the trailer. Now they also give you a second option. If you're camping someplace that does not have city water, you can fill your onboard tank right here. It's got a fresh water tank. You'll fill it up, and then you can use the water pump inside. It's got a 12-volt water pump, and you can turn it on and it'll pressurize your trailer. So if you go to an older state park, for example, that doesn't have plumbing on the campsite, but it has a fill station when you first go in, you would fill it. You could also go into some of the state forests that don't have running water. You have to fill it obviously before you get there. It's good not to drive with the water tank filled, but you can do it if you have no choice. Okay, your slide out, which is in right now. This is just an outside shower here. Hose down kids and dogs and feet and that sort of thing. You got a 20 amp cord, or excuse me, a 30 amp cord that's 25 feet long. And we give you a reducer to reduce that down to a regular 15 amp cord so you can plug it in at home. Keep in mind you can't run the air conditioner for too long on 15 amps or it'll pop a circuit breaker. So everything else in the trailer you can run no problem. But if you try to run it on 15 amps at home, the air conditioner, I mean, you'll eventually pop a circuit breaker. Okay? Alright, so these are your dump valves here. You got your black and your gray. Okay. The black valve is always the larger valve. I'm trying to get under here to see. Okay. So this one here is your black, the one on the right, and the gray is on the left. So you're just going to pull this out. It's a gate valve, so you just pull it out to open it. Your hose will be attached here. The other end will be in your dump station. You dump the black tank first, which is toilet water and waste, and then you dump the gray tank second, which is sink and shower water. You do that because basically the gray water is cleaner water than the black water, so it's it just makes sense to do that second, so it helps clean it out. Then, if you choose, you can come up to here and hook your hose at the dump station onto here. And this is a black tank flush, so it'll wash the inside of the black tank and help clean it out even better. It's a good thing. Just so you know, those two valves right there are low point drains. They're closed right now. It's just the lowest point of the plumbing when you want to winterize and de-winterize. That's the lowest point of the plumbing. Okay? All right, let me get up here. This trailer, as you can see, has got a mount for a backup camera. That means it's pre-wired for a backup camera. If you get one, it has to be a Furrion that fits inside that housing. We sell them here. You can talk to our parts people. But either way, if you get one, it has to be the type that fits right into that housing. The idea is then you turn your running lights on, and it'll activate the camera so you can back up with it, or you can use it running down the road, whatever you want to do. Also, the roof has been inspected, but you're still going to go up there 3 times a year, in the spring, in the fall, and then once in the middle of the summer. You can walk around up there. You're just going to check all the sealant down the roof and make sure it's good and tight. No cracks, no separation. When you see that happening, you have to get it taken care of. It's very, very important to check your roof regularly. Odds are you won't have to do anything when you're inspecting it for some time, but you're checking it just in case, all right? Very important. This is your water heater on the outside. This works on both gas and electric. The switches are inside. This is where it drains from right here, and this is your drain plug. Okay. This trailer is in winter, or is in summer camping mode right now, so it's been de-winterized, so it's ready to go. Always remember to fill your water tank up before you turn on the electric heating element or the gas, or else you'll damage it. You do that by basically, if it's empty, you'll put the plug in, obviously, then you'll turn on the hot water inside and just let it fill up. It'll be blowing air out of the faucet, and then a mixture of air and water. And when it starts blowing solid water out, you know that it's ready to be used, okay? Now this has to be bypassed. I can't go into too much detail other than to tell you, if you don't know about bypassing and winterizing your trailer, you have to learn. There's valves on the back of this that have to be switched before you pump any antifreeze into the trailer. If you let antifreeze get into the water heater tank, it'll leave a really foul taste that won't go away. So you always have to bypass it before you put any antifreeze in the system. This is just the access service panel for the refrigerator. This little hose should always be hanging out just like that. That's for condensation to drip out. Okay, let's go inside. Okay, so here we are at the control panel. I'm going to send the slide room out right here. Okay. This particular slide, the type of slide is called an AccuSlide, just so you know. There are different styles, different types. This is an AccuSlide. Okay. So let's let it go out. Keep your finger on the button. And right about here. There you go. Okay, this is for your power awning right here. Let me switch hands with the phone here. So extend, retract. To extend it, you're just going to push the button and let it roll out. You just roll it out until you see the awning tube. That's how you know you're all the way out. There's your light there. Okay, let me bring it back in here. Never leave it out unattended. If you're leaving the campsite, you want to roll it in, because the wind will come up really quick and it can damage it. Okay, while we're at the control panel, I just turned on the porch, the awning light and the ceiling light. I mentioned you could run your water heater from here, so this is how you light it on gas. That's how you light it on electric. Always make sure there's water in the tank before you do that. To turn your pump on, if you're using onboard water in your fresh water tank, you're just going to go like that. Okay. Your battery is totally charged. You want to check it when you're not plugged in though. Fresh water is empty. Black is empty. You just have one black tank, so you go to black. You skip black 2, and then gray is empty. So you have to. You only have one one black tank and one gray tank. I don't think there's a galley tank on this. If it is, it's plumbed together, so you just have one valve for it. Okay. All right. So, moving through the kitchen. Microwave works like any other microwave. Your range hood, fan, and light. Now there is a vent on the outside that has a baffle in it that's normally shut. I guess it does not. I'm sorry. Okay. That's inaccurate, so I should have taken a better look. So you don't have to worry about that. Your range and oven, you're just going to light it like this, and then you're going to light it with a lighter. That's all. So you just light it and spark it with a lighter. Then, if you want to use the oven, it's sort of the same thing. It kind of works like a water heater. Some still work like that. Some used to. I'm talking about a household water heater. You'll go to pilot, right, like that. Gotta get the focus. Then you'll depress it. You keep it depressed. At the back of this bottom section, you can see there's a pilot light back there. So you'll light it with a grill lighter just because it has a long neck on it, and you'll light it till the pilot light lights. You're still holding this down. You're still pressing it. So after it lights, you'll hold it for about 10 seconds or so to heat up. You go to whatever operating temperature you choose, and it'll light and it'll cycle through like a regular oven. But when you go back to off, obviously the flame goes out, but also the pilot light will go out. So you have to light it each time before you use it. Okay? All right. Your refrigerator is a gas absorption refrigerator made by Dometic. It runs on 110 AC and it runs on LP gas. So it's pretty simple. This button is just on and off. So off, on. Okay. So right now it's set on auto. Let me see if it'll focus for you. There you go. Auto is lit up. Auto means electric. The reason they call it auto is because it always searches out for electricity first. It'll use gas second. So therefore, for example, if you have a power failure at the campground, it'll automatically switch over to gas so you don't spoil your food. Now you can run it dedicated to gas by going like that. Just remember that if this check light comes on, it means it didn't light. And if that happened, it's not a big deal. You just shut it off and turn it on and let it cycle through again. Okay? So, but normally you're going to run it on auto. One last thing about this is this device right here. You can see there's a cable. Let me see if I can see it, because you see it a little bit here. This is just a clip that holds this thing on here. Let me pull it off so you can see it. It's called a thermistor. The higher this goes, the cooler it gets in the refrigerator. You can see you got a little sticker there telling you that. This fits up inside. I only got one hand here, so I'm having a hard time here. But it fits right up inside there. So when people refer to the thermistor, they're not talking about this clip here. They're talking about this cylinder on the end of the wire. Right? So you clip it on there. And like I said, the higher you go with it, the cooler it gets. You're generally speaking going to have it up all the way. Maybe sometimes if you go out when it's in the really early spring or late fall and it's kind of cool outside, you might have to back it off. But that'll be rare. Okay, the lights always have a button in the middle, the LEDs, so you know that. Now, to get to your water heater, you're going to pick up this panel here. This is divided into two. You can see where the seam is. This panel here will come out. You'll take the mattress out. You'll lift up the panel. And you'll be able to see the water heater. Like I said, it does have bypass valves on the back that have to be set in the right position before you winterize it. Okay? The bathroom works like any other. The sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. Okay? The toilet itself, one thing you have to remember is it has to have water and chemical in it to use it. So this one has a foot pedal right here, if you can see it down there. Put my foot on it. And so normally you're just going to flush it like so. So to get started, because it has to have water in it, you'll do this. When you get to the campground, you'll hook up your water and your power. Then you come in here and you'll take your chemical, whichever you're using, a liquid, a powder, whatever, and you'll put it right in here, and then you'll step on this. When you step on it, water will come rushing out and it'll fill up. You want to put about a gallon or so in there. 2 gallons tops. Just enough to get you started with it. So you got chemical and water in there. You always start off with some chemical and water, and you don't have to add any more chemical or water, generally speaking, until you dump the tank. And if you dumped it and you were going to stay at the same campsite, you'd come back in here and repeat that procedure. One last thing, when you flush it, the water will only fill about up to here. That's so it doesn't slosh out when you're pulling it down the road. So if you step on the pedal, let me see if I can get a shot of both here. If you step on the pedal, and there's this spot right here where it'll turn on the water valve, but doesn't open the trap here. So you do that, it'll open the water valve and it'll fill up the toilet. So you can fill it up to any level you want before you use it. You just have to do that each time before you use it, okay? Alright, this GFCI, all the plugs in the trailer will be wired through this one. So if you pop a circuit breaker outside, for example, so let me back up here, I'm sorry. If you're using the receptacle on the outside of the trailer for a coffee pot or something, and it pops the GFCI, it's always reset in here, because they're wired through this one right here. Okay, I hope that made sense. Got a little ahead of myself. Story of my life. Okay, so to drop this table down, you're just going to pull out these two poles under here, right? You put them in storage underneath there, and you just drop the top down onto these ledges here, right? And then you'll use the other cushions to fill in the space. And you've got an extra bed. Your radio / disc player, this plays DVDs and CDs. It has two zones, 1 and 2, inside and outside the trailer. You can stream off this USB here. It has Bluetooth, so you can hook up wirelessly with your phone. So it has a lot of features. You can wire your TV set through it, obviously, so you can play videos. Okay. All right, and this, I have this off just to show you. I mentioned that there's where the water tank, hot water tank is. This is the pump here. There's 3 screws holding this panel on. Every screw in here is a number 2 square-headed screw. Let me see if I can focus on one. It's like that. So you need a number 2 square-headed bit to use them. And excuse me. This is where your water pump's at. This is also where you'll winterize your trailer. It comes with a hose here with an end to screw on. And if you can see this brass piece down here, this had a kit added onto it. It's an aftermarket kit, but they work just fine. You'll unscrew this top. You'll put the hose there. You'll change the handle on this valve to go parallel with this hose here, this plastic one, once it's screwed on there. And then the other end of that plastic hose goes into a gallon of antifreeze. Then you'll turn on your water pump, and it'll pump the antifreeze throughout the trailer. Remember, you've already bypassed the water heater at this point, and it'll take 2 gallons to do this trailer, 2 gallons of antifreeze. So just giving you a general rough idea how that works. Okay, in case you don't know. Also, the escape window goes like so. You can use it for ventilation just by going like that. If you need to escape, you'll push this all the way through, grab hold of this red tab and pull the screen out, and out you go. And hopefully you land right on your feet. Okay, and there's some storage underneath the bed here. It's like a foot locker. Also, let's see what else we've got here. Let me open this up and see what we're dealing with here. Just so I don't miss anything. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, yeah, and you can put a TV in here also. So it's recessed. It would have to be a very thin LED TV with a very thin or shallow bracket on it. But you can see there's a hole for the wires to go through to the other side. Okay. All right. I think we've pretty much covered everything. This particular trailer has well, there's a few more things, but this one has, this looks like a carbon monoxide alarm in the bedroom. Let me make sure there's a battery in it. Hold on. Okay. And it also has a separate smoke detector up here. Okay. But it also has, see if we can find the darn thing. Okay, not there. Oh, right here. Okay. This is an LP gas and a carbon monoxide detector. And make sure it does both. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Yep. This one is just propane. That's why they put the extra carbon monoxide there. Okay. So this will detect propane leak And if it goes off, you're going to go outside the trailer, shut off your tanks to figure out what's going on. Keep in mind that this should always be green. If that LED isn't green, you want to get it serviced because it's very important, okay? And the one last thing I didn't get to is over here. It's the power converter. This device converts 110 AC power, which is on this side, to 12 volt DC, which is over here. Some things have to run on AC power, like the air conditioner and the microwave, that sort of thing. So you have regular household type circuit breakers here, and they're labeled. Then it converts the power down to 12 volt DC, and you have automotive fuses there, and they're labeled. If any of these were to blow, it'll actually light up, and you can see it through this tinted plastic here. This is also a battery tender, so as long as you're plugged into power, it'll sense how much energy your battery needs, and if it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs. If it's charged, it'll trickle a couple, whatever it needs to do to keep it charged, okay? All right, so I believe that's it. The thermostat, you're just going to push mode once to light it up, like so. Then you're going to cycle through auto. There's cool. You should always try running things on auto. Furnace, and off. The first one is fan. The fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. It just circulates air. So that's it. Keep in mind that everything has a lag time with this, turning on and turning off. So as soon as you hit the button, it's not going to just fire right up. It'll take 5 seconds, depends. So be a little patient. There's always a lag time turning on and shutting off. Okay, so now we've got it. So if you have any other questions, you can call us. Obviously, you can refer to the online videos. Every manufacturer has online videos now, so you can just get the appliance brand and number off of it, type it in, and you'll find all the information you need. Plus, there's a packet, and you can also get, if the documents that aren't in your packet, depending on whether the previous owner put them in there. I'm double talking here. Depending on whether the original owner saved his packet with all the papers in it, or if he didn't, you can do the same thing with the model number and the model of and brand of the appliance, and type it in there, and you can get the same documents in PDF form. Whew, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, all right. So thank you very much, and goodbye.